So I want you to imagine something. Imagine having a whole universe of thoughts and feelings locked inside your head, a lifetime of things you want to say, but you've never spoken a single word. That's where we meet Melody, a girl who is just on the verge of finding her voice.
This one sentence, right here, it just perfectly captures the whole story. It's a journey that's really measured in time, in all those moments, all those days, and what feels like an entire lifetime of waiting for a way to finally speak.
So, Melody's quest. It doesn't begin in some fancy, high-tech lab. Nope, it starts right in her classroom, in front of this kinda clunky, old, leftover computer.
Her friend Catherine is there with her, and together they start digging through this digital world of communication devices. And, most of them are, well, they're outdated, they're awkward, and they cost a fortune. But then they find it, a device called the MediTalker. And this one looks different. It feels like it might actually be possible.
Okay, this is the moment. This is when everything changes. Melody's watching a video of another kid, someone kinda like her, using the MediTalker to talk all about his birthday party. Just a simple thing, right? But seeing this possibility just lights a fire in her. She gets so excited, her arms and legs start flailing. She even says she looks like a crazy human helicopter. Hope had officially arrived.
But as I'm sure many of you know, just because you find a solution doesn't mean you get it right away. That initial rush of excitement, it pretty quickly turns into a long, really frustrating ordeal.
Oh yeah, the path to getting this MediTalker is just paved with paperwork, a prescription, for a machine, financial statements. Every single step is a brand new hurdle, another form to track down, another phone call to make, and all the while, time just keeps stretching on and on.
So first, her doctor has to send in a prescription, which again seems so bizarre for a machine. And after it's finally sent, she waits.
Then her mom spends hours on the phone just going back and forth answering these endless frustrating questions from the insurance company. And after all that, she waits. After every form, every call, even a resubmission because of one missing signature, the only thing Melody can do is wait. And in this just agonizingly slow passage of time, the real weight of her silence, it just feels heavier than ever before. And then, finally, on the Wednesday before Christmas, it actually happens. A huge brown box shows up, delivered by a UPS truck, and it's addressed directly to her. The waiting is over, and she is just boiling over with excitement. She can barely even contain herself as she watches her neighbor, Mrs. V, start to carefully unbox what is basically her entire future. And there it is. Tucked under miles and miles of bubble wrap sits the MediTalker. It's smaller than she thought it would be, but it's sleek and shiny and cool to the touch. It's not just a machine, it's pure, untapped potential.
So while Mrs. V starts trying to figure out this absolutely enormous instruction manual, Melody, who has waited long enough, thank you very much, she just takes matters into her own hands. She wheels right over and pushes the on button herself, and a whole new world just whirs to life right there in front of her.
So the device, which Melody secretly decides to name Elvira, is basically a universe in a box. Look at this. It's not just for saying, "I'm hungry." It's for telling corny jokes, for doing math, for listening to music, for having a real conversation. It's a tool for a whole life.
So after hours and hours with Mrs. V, whose fingers are just flying across the keys programming words and phrases, the moment is finally here. Elvira is ready, and so is Melody.
The very first words she ever speaks are just a simple expression of gratitude. But the impact, it's monumental. Just 2 words, spoken by this little machine, and they bring both Melody and Mrs. V to tears.
They spend the rest of the afternoon just filling Elvira with all the little building blocks of everyday chatter. The kind of normal conversation she's listened to her whole life but has never, ever been able to join. Things like asking a friend about a test or just, saying something's funny. And then, here it is, the biggest test. Her parents come home. And her dad is holding a camcorder, but his hands are trembling just a little bit, ready to capture this moment that they have been dreaming of for over a decade. She so carefully types out her message, and through Elvira, her voice fills the room. "Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. I am so happy." And her mother's eyes, they just immediately fill with tears. And this is everything. It is so much more than just a greeting. For the very first time in her life, she is speaking directly to her parents. A lifetime of thoughts and observations and feelings are finally being set free. And with that, she says the 3 words they've waited her entire life to hear: I love you. And her mom, as the story goes, she completely loses it. The wait is finally, truly over. You know, Melody's story isn't just about one girl and one machine. It's this powerful reminder that communication is just so fundamental to being human. It's how we connect. It's our identity. It's our freedom. Her journey from total silence to speech really shows the profound impact technology can have. But it also leaves us with this really critical question. For every voice like Melody's that finally gets unlocked, how many more are still out there, just waiting for the right key?